Hello and welcome to the video. I did a video yesterday talking about how to update Ardu Pilot on a Pixhawk Cube and kind of mention one of the projects that I'm currently working on that will be video series later in the summer. And those of you that watch the channel regularly know that I enjoy the building as much as I do enjoy the flying. It's a big part of where I get my enjoyment out of the hobby. Now, it's not up everybody's street, but I love the fact that I can buy different pieces and put them together and put software on them and configure them. And then when it's flying around and I'm having a whale of a time with it, it's kind of doing that because of the work that I put into it. It gives me a big buzz. Now, lots of you have also been suggesting things for me to do over the summer, and I need to say a massive thank you to all of you that put the comments on the videos and interact and support about the stuff I do here. But I'm actually working on quite a few things at the moment, things that won't be on the channel just yet, but that will be on the channel over the summer months. So I thought that, well, I've kind of made the video and kind of let you know I'm doing some Vtol stuff in the video yesterday. Let me kind of explain all the other stuff that I'm up to. Now, the first new project that you haven't seen yet is there will be an INAV 5.0 for Beginners series. I did my INAV for Beginners series 2020, and I've also done another one which is the kind of INAV setup guide for INAV 3.0/4.0. Now, INAV 5.0 will be out very soon, and there are some quite significant improvements in lots of areas. In my humble opinion, there isn't any kind of game changer stuff. There's a video coming about what's new in 5.0 very soon, but there are enough increments to warrant a new video, particularly in Configurator. Lots of things have moved around, which makes trying to follow along click by click for the older series will kind of be out of date from 5.0 onwards for where things are in Configurator. Now, I'm going to be using the Mars plane. Thank you to all of you that got in touch about that. It was interesting that the Mars plane, when it first came out, I was hearing that some people managed to score it for kind of $140 from places like AliExpress and places like that. For that kind of money, it actually seems to make a lot more sense than the kind of money that it costs now from places like Banggood. It is an exceptionally expensive model. However, it is here. There is lots of room inside for all the electronics, so it's a natural choice to put INAV 5.0 in it. Again, that series is going to be aimed at beginners, so if you have never set up INAV before, it will hopefully take you through all of the process, all of the tips and tricks. So if you follow that process, follow all the videos and get to the end, you should have a fantastic experience with it. My next one is one that I've been doing about 6 weeks up to this point, actually. Taking my time with it is my first ever Vtol build. Based on the Atomar seal, I'm using the motors from the Holybro X500 V2 frame, and I'm using the Pixhawk Cube Orange. That was the one that you saw yesterday. And the idea with this is for me to figure out how all this stuff actually works. Now, there are lots of people at the moment making Vtol videos, particularly using things like the Ranger T1 and making so their tilt. All of you that are making videos, please, please, please share all of the setups, what you're doing in Ardu Pilot, what you're doing in quad plane, how you're configuring stuff, the issues you're running into, how you're resolving it. Occasionally I'm hearing of people sharing their dump files, essentially like the parameter list in Ardu Pilot for other pilots to copy, but that doesn't help you get over all of the hubs and issues that you bump into when you're doing this stuff. I was talking to an INAV developer this week, actually, and talking about the technical complexity of not only setting up Ardu plane and quad plane, but also doing all the other pieces. And in this series, I'm going to use all the stuff that we learned from Ben up at 3DXR in that series that has already been done and kind of implement it here on my own. And I'm sure I'm going to find loads of things that are going to catch me out. But that's the whole point of the series. Let's actually figure out where all the gotchas are. So that will be a series that will probably not be out until August. I want to get another couple of steps through that series before I start releasing the videos. The next one is one that I've been asked about quite a bit. It is building my first ever 3D printed plane. Now this is a model from Eclipson. Eclipson makes some fantastic looking models, and this is something that's called the White Wing. Now it isn't a free thing, you have to pay to download the pieces, and it takes a long time to print. So I need to say a massive thank you to a gentleman called Steve who has actually printed this for me. It's taken 8 days to print the model, so it's not a quick job. It's one of those things that you have to, kind of just keep putting the pieces on. But what it's ended up with is a really unique looking flying wing. Now I've got to order the carbon fibre parts and the motor and the ESC and the servos and maybe put INAV in it. We'll see how I feel. I need to build it all out, but I need to stick it together with CA. I might paint it. I'm going to see how heavy it is. Now I've printed this one, or should I say Steve has printed this one, using filamentive tough PLA. Now I've looked at this stuff in the past on the channel. I wanted to try and make it a little bit tougher than it would be normally. Now this is my first ever adventure into 3D printed planes. Lots of people I've heard about really like them, and I've had quite a few questions about them. So I thought it was about time that I got one of these funky designs in and we had a go. I particularly like the way that in this design the wings are designed to be removable, which is perfect for me. It means I can take it to and from the field easily. The last little series that I'm thinking of getting into at the moment is I am getting quite a few questions about the FrSky Ethos system. For those of you that find the OpenTX, EdgeTX stuff just too blooming complicated, and there are lots of pilots out there who are in that camp, Ethos, from what I'm hearing, seems to be quite sophisticated and quite cute. So setting up flaps is a very, very trivial thing for a fixed wing plane versus the several steps that you have to go through and know the steps that you have to figure out to do it in places like Edge and OpenTX. Now, EdgeTX is obviously being developed at the moment, and the idea is the interface will become more sophisticated, so you don't have to watch 12 YouTube videos in order to be able to do the basics in the operating system. But for now, I'm kind of interested in having a look at what that Ethos stuff is, and then also answering the questions for those people. Things like helicopter setup, basic setups, telemetry, all that kind of stuff that people are asking me. It'll be great to have a radio. So I'm going to see if I can get my hands on one of the X18S's, I think is the new one that's just come out. It's kind of a slightly physically smaller version of the X20, which is a beautiful radio actually, and I'll get one in and we'll see what's going on. I haven't had any new FrSky radios in for quite a few years, so it'll be interesting to see what the state of the art looks like for FrSky. So if you have any Ethos questions, then do let me know, and I'll kind of fold them into the series that I'm thinking of making with that. So with those projects and all of the other things, the various reviews, how-tos, answering questions, I think I'm going to have a very fun, busy, exciting summer. So if any of that stuff sounds interesting, make sure you're subscribed and you have the bell notification icon turned on, because this stuff is going to be rolling out over the summer months through July, August, maybe into September for some of it. But it means that if I get a spare hour or two and I fancy having a tinker with something, I'm not going to be short of projects. Thank you for spending your time today watching that video. You can find me in all the usual places on social media, and if you're trying to learn about a subject, then check out the playlist. All of my videos are organized into easy to follow playlists that if you're trying to learn a topic will take you from the basics right the way through to some pretty advanced stuff.